The Casio World Time AE 1200, or better known as the Casio Royale, as most people from the watch community would call it, due to its similarities to a very famous Seiko watch that has appeared in a very old James Bond film before in the past. This watch has a massive cult following. People love this watch. A lot of people have this watch. You probably know of this watch or seen it somewhere before in the past. And mainly the reason is because it's so affordable. You know, Casio already makes a lot of affordable watches, but this one is, you know, very, very inexpensive and has it is quite famous as well for what it is. So, you know, a lot of people pick it up in their collection. This watch, I believe, goes for about, here in Canada at least, goes for about $35 to $50, give or take. There's a lot of different variations. This one has the gray bezel, not as popular. The popular one is the one with the black bezel. That's the one a lot of people get. That one goes for about $50 here in Canada. This one goes for about $35. You can also get it in different strap options, rubber straps, bracelets, and whatnot as well. And because of the fact that this watch is so famous, there's a lot of modifications you can do for it. So you can actually swap out the case. You know, people make actual stainless steel cases for it. Even though this looks like stainless steel, it is actually resin, very light, but also quite cheap. You know, it is what it is, right? But you can switch out the case for it for a heavier duty, heavier stainless steel case. You can also switch out the bezels and the inserts on the inside, and you can also like put different like color filters on it as well. Definitely, you can also change out the bracelets or straps as well. A lot of modifications you can do for it. But, you know, I'm not too into modding it too much. This is more or less a beater travel watch. I don't want to spend too much money on it. But I feel like there's one modification that we can all agree that if you have this watch, you definitely have to swap out. And that is the bracelet. That's right. Again, you can get this watch in several variations. Rubber straps are usually cheaper, but you can also get it in this silver bracelet here. This will run you a little bit more in price, but you're also getting a bracelet, right? But of course, it's also a, you know, inexpensive Casio watch. So what can you expect out of the bracelet? Well, not much. Essentially, you are getting a very, very cheap bracelet. Folded links, you can tell by the sides here, a very cheap clasp. I mean, it works, but, you know, not the best in terms of quality. And of course, the end links here are just like this little loop, very rattly. You know, when you're wearing this watch, you're basically listening to this all day long. Very annoying. So I think we can all agree that, you know, this strap or bracelet should be changed out. But there's a problem because this watch comes with 18mm lugs, which is fine. But the problem is this watch is quite wide. So when you put 18mm straps on it, it looks kind of dinky and weird. So here, I'm going to grab this 18mm NATO strap, and I'm not going to put it on, but I'm just going to put it on top like that. You can already see, like, it looks kind of dinky and just off balance. The watch strap and the watch itself, it's like, huh. There are watch straps out there where they actually cut out a notch, so they actually have like a, maybe similar to this, right? They have like a 22mm strap, for example, but they actually notched out the corners, so it fits in 18mm lug size. You can get some of those. There's a lot of them out there. Again, you know, because this watch is so popular, people have made actual modded straps that fit this watch and this watch only. So, but I was interested in getting a, you know, a stainless steel bracelet. I mean, I couldn't find one that's out there that is, you know, that is notched out, but I ended up finding this right here. This is the JaysandKays adapter for this watch. So essentially what this is you can kind of see it through the packaging right here. It is a lug adapter. So it converts your 18mm lugs to a 22mm lugs. It's just an adapter that attaches on both ends, and then now you can put on any 22mm straps, whether that be a bracelet or NATO or you know, a regular leather strap, whatever the case might be. You can put it on, and with 22mm, it will look a lot more uniform. Let's take a look and see what's inside this this packaging. JaysandKays from eBay. Wasn't too expensive, about maybe $16. $12, $16, give or take. Again, I'm from Canada, so the prices vary depending on conversions and you know, all that stuff, right? So about $12 to $16, give or take, depending on where you are, right? So it comes with this little tool here. I believe this is a spring bar tool on one side, and then the other side is the push pin tool for the links. So there's that, and then you have the actual adapters. And it looks like that's it. The spring bar is already inside. You have quick release spring bars for the 18 millimeter side. So the 18 millimeter goes into the watch. And then on the outside, you don't have quick release spring bars. You just have regular spring bars. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So yeah, 18 millimeters with the quick release and the 22 millimeter on the outside without it. So yeah, there you go. This is, I believe, according to the listing, it's actual metal. So it has a bit of weight to it. I mean, it's not that heavy. It's just a little piece of adapter, right? But it does have a little bit of heft to it, and it is metal. So it's nice that they're actually giving you a, well-built piece of adapter here. It also comes with 2 different colors, so you can get them in the silver color or you can get them in black. So that depends on which watch you have. And in terms of straps, I was originally going to get a stainless steel strap, but again, I didn't want to spend too much money on this watch. It is just a travel beater's watch for me. So I actually found this stainless steel strap that I had lying around. This is actually from my very old Fossil watch that I used to own. Well, actually, I still own, but it's the very first watch that I ever bought. And I know that, for the watch geeks out there, you'll probably yell at me for owning a Fossil watch, but it's a fine watch. I mean, like, what's with all the hate, Yes, it is a fashion watch, but still, like, this was the watch that I could afford at the time, and it wasn't a very expensive watch, and I've worn it for a number of years, and even to this day, it's still ticking, and it works perfectly fine. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that, so, I love it. My very first watch that I bought with my own money, so there's the Fossil watch, but I don't wear it anymore, so I ended up just, taking this bracelet off, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just use this bracelet on this watch. Saves me a little bit of money, right? So let's put this adapter on. Actually, you know what, before I do that, I do want to try this other thing, because I'm not a huge fan of the text that's on this watch. So it says world time right here, and it also says illuminator on the bottom here. I'm not a huge fan of the text. The ones on the inside, I'm not too it doesn't bother me too much. I know some people do try to remove those as well. For me, not a big deal. But the ones on the outside, I think it looked kind of tacky, and I think it makes this faux stainless steel case look like it's not stainless steel. It's too obvious, right? With the printed text on there. You can wipe this off with alcohol. I believe people sometimes use nail polish remover. But I did see a Reddit post posted by this guy. I forget his name. I can post the picture here. But he suggested using a pencil eraser. And he says that, just a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of scrubbing, rubbing, whatever you would call it. Using a pencil eraser, you can actually rub the text off just very easily. So there'll be no solutions. It doesn't need to get wet. You don't need to, worry about, water or anything going in. I do know that there are also pink pencil erasers that are a little bit more abrasive. Don't have one of those. So if this doesn't work, then maybe we'll try using alcohol or something. So let's go. Oh yeah, definitely. You can see that it's coming off. Yeah, you see that? It's coming right off. That's an amazing hack. That is an amazing hack. Seriously. It is all gone. That is a great hack. Thank you to that user. I forgot his name, so I'll post the picture on here. But yeah, that's fantastic. The benefit of using this is that there's no chance of damaging anything on your case, right? So sometimes you use rubbing alcohol, you might, depending on which percentage you use, maybe because again, this isn't actual metal. It's just resin with some kind of paint on it. So what if you rub off the paint, and there's always that worry. But with this eraser hack, yeah, I mean, chances of that happening is very slim. So I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll put on the strap. Okay, now that's done. Let's put this eraser away. We don't need it anymore. So yeah, let's put the adapters on this case. And one thing I do want to measure, and I've seen other videos talk about this adapter before, but I don't think I've seen people talk about, I don't think I've seen people talk about this. One thing I do want to measure is I want to see what is the new lug to lug width after you put this this adapter on. Because of course that's going to change, right? Actually, let's measure that right now. So I don't have calipers, but I do have this, so we'll see. So I'm going to start the 10 millimeter. 10 centimeters. I mean, so it's gonna be lug to lug for this right now. The original case is about 45 millimeters lug to lug. I know it doesn't really show very well on the camera. You just have to trust me. 45 millimeters lug to lug. And then let's see what it's gonna be with the adapters in. Okay, honestly, had to do that off camera. A little difficult to line up on screen, but there it goes. So these are the new adapters that are installed onto the case. It does look a little different. The finishing is a little bit different, but the nice thing is that it does match the buttons that are on the sides. So in a sense, it does still look very cohesive. One thing to note is that they do have drilled holes at the end of the 22 millimeter lugs, so you can actually just take a tool and just pop that in. They do wiggle a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a lot, but they do have a little tiny bit of give. Okay, let's measure what the new lug to lug width is. So it looks like the new lug to lug dimension is going to be 50, I would say 53. Very close to 53. Yeah, 53 millimeters. So unfortunately for me, that is a little bit big. My wrist is super small. My wrist is only about 6 inches. So 50 millimeters is already quite large. So 52 is going to be a little bit too big for my wrist. So we're going to have to see if this actually works out or not. Oh, one little detail that I noticed, that it actually says JaysandKays. It has it engraved on the inside of the 22 millimeter lugs end right here. That's pretty neat. Nice touch. Okay, so I have installed the bracelet onto the watch with the adapter, and I've also sized it correctly to my wrist using the micro adjustments. Luckily, didn't have to take out any links, right? So anyways, here it is. And I mean, I think it looks fine. Ultimately, I still think, what did I say, 53 millimeters lug to lug is a little bit big for my dinky 6-inch wrist. But ultimately, I think it looks okay enough that it's not that bad in a sense. This is nice because, of course, this feels a lot better in terms of quality. It's still not really, a very high quality bracelet or anything like that. It's still folded links, but it's definitely a lot better than the Casio one that's over there. It doesn't rattle as much, and it does give the watch a much more solid feel. And the nice thing about it is that I like how this bracelet, it doesn't taper, right? So this is just a straight bracelet. I think it fits the watch very well, being so wide. Having a tapered bracelet down to 18 millimeters, I just feel like, it seems very dinky for this watch size. So, and also it's nice that I get to repurpose an old bracelet that I have been sitting around in my drawer for the last, so many years now. It's nice to have it repurposed and make the most out of it, right? So there you go. If you're ever in the market to get a new strap or a new bracelet for your Casio AE 1200 or Casio Royale, feel free to check out JaysandKays. Not a sponsored video, but feel free to check out JaysandKays on eBay. Their adapters are top notch, and it gives you a lot more options in terms of bracelets and straps for your Casio Royale watch.